Hello, welcome to episode 34 of Daryl Show Your Work. In this episode, it's going to be a fairly short one, is the last episode, and it's going to be covering how do we set up the Zeek tool for network security analysis. So to give a brief overview of what Zeek is, it's an open source network security monitoring tool that analyzes network traffic in real time, capturing logs and data. But however, it's not used for active defense. All right, so we're just using this tool to monitor our network. So the first thing we need to do from where we are at the moment, let's navigate to our actual Zeek home directory. So I'm gonna say cd opt Zeek. All right, and then the next thing we're gonna do, we need to adjust the configuration files to make sure that all of our current network or system properties are accounted for in the Zeek configuration. All right, so in order to do that, we're going to go one level up to the Etsy folder. All right, so now that we're in there, let's take a look at the configuration, the default configuration file for Zeek to see what's going on. All right, so I'm cat dot, and the file that we're going to be going into is node.cfg for configuration. All right, so the first thing that we'll notice is that we have some hosts defined as local hosts, and for the purposes of the lab that should be fine. But let's take a we look. We also see that we have interface defined as ether 01, and let's do some confirmation on that particular element just to make sure that it's indeed accounting for the actual interface that we're running in. So in order to do that, we're just going to do a simple ifconfig. All right, so scrolling up a little bit, so it looks like if we take a look right here, we're actually um, running in the ENS32 interface. So we're going to have to change that Ethernet 0 interface defined in a configuration file by default. We're going to have to change that to reflect ours if we want Zeek to run on our system. So this time I'm going to open my text and editor. Well, hold on, I got to do sudo, and we're going to make those. We're going to make that change in the configuration file. All right, so sudo nano node and cfg. All right, gotta give it my password since I'm doing sudo. All right, so we basically just need to make that change right here on this third line that's in white. So we're just gonna get rid of the ETH0 and we're gonna replace it with ENS32 since that's the actual interface that we're operating on. And I'm hit Control X to exit and then Y to save. Hit Enter. All right. So the next thing we want to do is we want to be able to we need to configure our bashrc file. All right, and so and by configuring that, we're going to add Zeek's home directory within the bashrc file. So adding Zeek's home directory to it is important because it's going to allow us to run a Zeek commands from any directory in the terminal without having to specify the full path every time we want to run it. All right, so let's see. I can open that. I should be able to open that from where I am. So let's do nano. Let's see, and then tilde. And then let's see, I'm gonna specify bash RC. All right, great. So we're in there. All right, so what I'm gonna be doing in here, I'm going to actually be adding a line here. And again, this line is going to allow us, I'm going to be adding Zeek's home directory within this bash configuration file. That way we can just run simple commands and don't have to keep writing out the home directory every time we want to run Zeek. All right. So, or the file that we need to write is export, or file path actually, export the all caps path equals, and then slash opt, this Zeek, then we're going to give it a colon, then we're going to $ path. All right. And that should do it. So that should give us the ability again to run to basically by adding the home directory here to run Zeek without having to specify the full path of Zeek's location every time. All right, so we do Control X, then we save it. All right, so then I'm out. So then the next thing we want to be able to do from here is we want to navigate to Zeek's Zeek's bin folder to interact with a file called Zeek control or Zeek CTL. Zeek CTL is a command line based tool that's designed to manage and control the Zeek network analysis framework. So we want to be able to go into there to kind of validate or confirm some of the settings that we just set up here to make sure that Zeek is good to deploy. All right, so I'm going to change directories here. We're going to go into Zeek's bin file. All right, and so that is Zeek. Bin. All right, now that we're in there, we need to be able to let's execute the Zeek control file. Let's do a list just so you can see that file and what it looks like. So the file that we're going to be executing is this file right here that I have highlighted. All right, so we're going to do sudo and period / Zeek CTL. All right, hit enter. All right, let's see. All right, so it says run the Zeek control deploy command. So it looked like that should have, well, let's see. Let's exit out of that. I believe I forgot a part of my syntax out of there. Let's see, it should be quit or exit. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's run that one back. And this time I'm going to just say check. All right, because I'm not really trying to use the application to do anything beyond just checking what we, okay. And so why I added checked here is just basically telling us that Zeek scripts are okay. All right. So this other thing, it would allow me to do some things as far as this configuration, which that's not the scope of this lab, but we just wanted to use Zeek CTL to check to see if our Zeek scripts are okay and to confirm that we are indeed okay to deploy. So let's change this, and this time I'm going to add deploy. All right, this is what's going to allow us to actually deploy the Zeek application. All right, so it looks like Zeek is successfully deployed. And if we wanted to actually confirm that and see what its current status is, we would just change deploy to status. All right, so we can see that its current status is that it's running, and it gives us the day and time in which it was ran. All right, so Another thing that we can do is we can also let's check on the some of the logs that Zeek interacts with when it runs. So to check its log directory, let's go do sudo ls for list, and then opt Zeek logs. All right, let's see what's in that directory. All right, so it looks like we have a subdirectory of current. So then let's just add that to our list here to list out what's in there. All right, so these are several of the log files that Zeek interacts with when just giving us that network security data for us to analyze, or for it to analyze, and then for us to do further analysis on. So if we look at the where is the let's generate some DNS entries, because what that's going to do is should create a new log for us called conlog, which is short for connection log. And what's significant about conlog is it's a key file that's used by Zeek to record details of all observed network connections. It captures essential information such as the timing, participants, and methods of each connection. It does this by checking the timestamps and IP addresses to track activity over time. All right, so I'm going to generate some DNS traffic here in order for us to create that log file. So in order for me to I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a simple ns lookup, and what that's going to do is going to give me the DNS. I'm gonna do an ns lookup on google.com. It's going to give me the DNS information for Google. All right. So here's that information here. And so let's look back in that folder to see. As you can see now, before, if you look up here, that conlog wasn't here, but now when I did that ns lookup of google.com, we have both the conlog and the DNS log. All right. So, and then we have something called a weird log. All right. So, but the main thing we want to focus on is this conlog.log, which is the connection log. All right. And then I can also show, let's see, let's cat that. All right. So we're going to change this to just to kind of show what some of these logs look like. Conlog. Oh, let me see. Oh, I gotta add my / there. Sorry about that. All right, so this is the output of that, and we could just see those DNS connection logs here. All right, let's try the DNS log and see what we get here, just to show what some of these logs look like that Zeek would be analyzing, that we may be analyzing too. All right, so we can see with our NS lookup traffic here, where we generated these logs when I did that command. So that's in the DNS log, and I'm out of curiosity. Let's see what's in the weird log. All right, so it looks like more entries. It looks like it's telling us the IP addresses that we were interacting with. Our IP address here, which is at 192.168.100, and then it looks like this is probably Google's IP address, the responding IP address here, and it's telling us that we were utilizing port 80 when we did that. So it looks like it's just another log, to be able to that we could look at to be able to view connections, ports, things of that nature, to to aggregate our overall analysis of events in the case we have to in a network security event. But that's going to bring us to the end of the video. Just wanted to cover some basics of how we can configure Zeek to run successfully on a network. Please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, show your work. And until next time, take care of yourself and God bless.